All right, for those of you for the last 8 minutes have been watching nothing but a video with no sound. All right, let me do this again then. All right, first I got to read the disclaimer. Welcome to Video Spotlight. My name is Taylor, and I'm the producer of the show. The things you will hear over the next hour represent the views of Video Spotlight and the people making them. All opinions and quotations in no way represent Video Spotlight and are the sole responsibility of the producer, guests, and callers. River West Radio is not liable for any legal issues arising from the content of this program. We accept callers, so please call in at 414-935-2951. And to do this one again. All right, today, movie release, Lawrence of Arabia. Re-release, obviously. Tomorrow, October 5th, Taken 2, Frankenweenie, The Paperboy. Not based on the video game. The House I Live In, Wuthering Heights, Pound Hold Your Breath, Butter, VHS, also re-release. The Oranges, Sister, Wake in Front, Trade of Innocence, Escape Fire, The Flight to Rescue American Healthcare, and Decoding Deepak, I'm not sure how to pronounce that. And October 12th, Argo, Here Comes the Boom, Sinister, Smiley, Grave Encounters 2, Seven Psychopaths, Special Forces, 3-2-1, Frankie Go Boom, Atlas Shrugged Part 2, Smashed, Middle of Nowhere, War of Buttons, Least Among Saints, A Whisper to a Roar, Nobody Walks, Simon in the Oaks. Now remember, not all these videos are coming out in theaters. Some are coming direct to DVD or VHS or whatever the producers happen to have the money for. It might even be e-videos on internet only too. All right, now today we have two guests. Megan.
Hello.
How old are you, Megan?
12.
All right, and we have Z.
Hey.
I'm not going to ask your age.
Of course not. A lady never tells and a gentleman never asks.
Well, I've never been accused of being a gentleman. All right, so today we're going to start with video games. And I understand, Z, you played two of the new releases, Borderlands 2 and Resident Evil 6. So tell me about Borderlands 2 first.
Well, Borderlands 2 is a throwback to Borderlands 1. If you want to think of a game sequel that is frightfully aware of what it is and just wants to bring you more of that, then Borderlands 2 is probably the pinnacle. Borderlands 2 describes itself as a shoot and loot game, and never has this been so true. This game has over 5,000 guns you can get, but 4,099 is crap. But the game has not actually changed much from the original Borderlands. They haven't really improved the storytelling. They haven't really improved character customization, design. What they did do is take what they did well in Borderlands 1 and shine it to a beautiful polish. It's still a very good shooter. It's very fun to play with your friends. If you're looking for depth of story or depth of content, you're probably not going to get what you're looking for. But if you're looking for a good run and gun multiplayer game, this is probably it. The way I approach games like this is I come in with very little expectations, especially if you want to base them on the previous game. But in this game, you know, you're given control of 4 new Vault Hunters. And in this game, the Vault Hunters vary.
Only 4?
Yeah.
Okay, that'd be what? Salvador, Maya, Axton, and Gage?
0.
Okay, there's zeros. Because I'm looking at the Borderlands 2 wiki, and they show 5. Salvatore, Maya, 0, Axton, and Gage.
The 5th Vault Hunter is not unlockable from the beginning of the game.
Okay. Is it DC, downloadable content?
I haven't gotten that far.
Oh, okay. All right. So, which one is not the starting 4?
Salvador, 0,
Axton,
and the chick.
Gage.
No,
Okay.
first chick.
Oh, Maya.
Maya
or
Siren.
Maya?
Those are your
Okay.
first 4. You start off with those 4.
Okay, so Gage comes in later in the game. All right, now for those who have played Borderlands 1, you might remember Salvador from the first game. Not only is he on the cover, but he's also, I believe, either an unlockable character or a downloadable character for like little side missions that are kind of separate from the game.
Yeah, he's a gunzerker, they call him.
Okay.
And, you know, unlike you would compare him to the Berserker from the last game, the big bald guy.
Okay.
But with guns.
Brick.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he carries 2 guns, mostly machine guns, and he's a press character. He keeps fire on you. He's actually a pretty good character. I started off with 0 myself. Go fig.
Yeah, it kind of makes sense being as your nickname is Zero. So
Yeah.
I actually that's what I would have guessed you would have done first. All right, so yeah, looking at the Borderlands wiki, I do see a lot of weapons shown. They go by different types of class, you know, combat rifles, repeater pistols, revolvers, rocket launcher, shotguns, sniper rifles, and submachine guns, all stuff that was in the previous one. A new class is the Iridian weapons. Have you gotten any of those yet?
No, Iridian weapons aren't actually new, but they didn't come along until way later in Borderlands 1.
Okay.
In this game, Iridian
For the record, I have not finished playing Borderlands 1, so...
Yes, you got to get to near the end to get an Iridian weapon.
Okay.
Iridium weaponry is actually at the center of the air quotation story in this game, as the end result of the Vault Hunters meddling with the Vault in the original game was iridium popping up everywhere on the planet as a precious mineral.
Do you want to explain what iridium is?
Iridium is like unobtainium in Ratchet and Clank or omnium in Thunder Rose. It is this rare, unexplained material that exists only on Pandora. And
Whoa. I'm sorry. Quick thing. Okay, you said unobtainium, right? Which, if people watch movies, remember being the super rare metal only found on one planet in the movie Avatar by James Cameron. And the name of that planet was Pandora.
funny.
Now in this case, the rare material is iridium, and it's found where?
Pandora.
In Pandora. Okay. Now, you know, correlation, conspiracy, what you want to call it, but I think James Cameron may have had a slight hand in the game, maybe. For the record, my beliefs of the movie Avatar is it's basically Dances with Wolves in space. So. All right, but go ahead, Z. Sorry.
It's quite all right. So apparently this was what the ancient technology of the aliens that came before and created the vault used for weaponry and stuff and other things. And with the opening of the vault and destroying of the monster in the vault, there was iridium began to pop up all over the place. Now the game's villain, Handsome Jack, comes. Yes, his name is Handsome Jack. And yes, if you think, you'll be disappointed if you think he's a pirate. Unfortunately, he's not.
That sucks. I probably would have signed on with him if he was.
But apparently his entire motivations, other than his complete and unrequited passion at being a total bastard, is to bring order finally to Pandora through technology. So he seizes the entire planet and is looking for new vaults, because apparently the original legend was just one legend, and when it's over, apparently there are more vaults that no one knew about before this day, when you found the one vault that nobody found for thousands of years.
Okay.
Like I said, not a strong story, but
right. Do you know what? I mean, okay. Is this supposed to be? Is Pandora supposed to be like a new name for Earth, or
no,
is it just
Pandora
completely different planet?
is a completely different planet.
Okay, I was never clear with that with the first game.
Pandora is considered the dusty butt crack of the universe. It's a horrible place with death, destruction, and ugly, ugly creatures all over the place.
So you can say
Detroit?
I would have said Tatooine, but okay.
Oh wait, some places in Arizona. There's sand here in this game.
There's sand in Tatooine too.
Yeah, but
and Dantooine.
There's also Jedi, so yeah.
Well, yeah, hidden out in the little mountain areas, trying to sound like giant serpent monsters and beating up on sand people. Freaking bullies. No, I'm just kidding.
Hey, the Jedi have always been known to be racist against sand people.
Did you know there was a sand person that was a Jedi?
Yes, and then he turned out to be what, Darth Krayt?
Krayt, yes. Yep. Awesome. All right. Even Elena actually knew that too. A little 10-year-old kid and had no freaking idea. Apparently, she is a very avid reader of Game Informer. So she probably actually knows a bit more about video games than I do. Elena will be...
Pays attention to them carefully.
Yes, she does. Elena will be joining us on the show in subsequent shows as probably a very regular, I suppose, DJ, I guess is the term. Yeah, contributor, partner, whichever. She was here last week, if anybody was listening to that, and trumped me on a couple points. All right, so, okay, looking at Borderlands Wiki for Borderlands 1, it says there are 127 missions of various length and complexity, 47 of those being part of the story, and the other 80 is side missions. Borderlands 2, as soon as it loads up here, probably should have loaded it at the same time. Both are 4-player drop-in, drop-out games for co-op. Okay. All right. Borderlands 2 is set 5 years after the events of Borderlands 1. Handsome Jack, the game's main antagonist, as previously mentioned, is taken over Hyperion Corporation, declared himself dictator of Pandora. It's Pandora. So the names are exactly the same as the two planets, and just mineral name different. And taking all the credit for finding the vault, going so far as to claim responsibility for killing the Destroyer. Jack has also blotted out much of the light of the planet by having a giant orbiting H-shaped base set in front of Pandora's stationary moon. Wait, so the planet is lit by the moon? There's no sun? How's there no sun?
There's a sun. Okay. Trust me.
I was going to say, because I suppose it would make nighttime really dark, I guess. But, all right, well. New team in Borderlands 2 is tasked with killing Jack and returning peace to Pandora. And, well, if it's the butt crack of the universe, good luck with that one.
There's never been peace on Pandora. I call shenanigans.
I would tend to agree with you. All right, let's see. Ooh. All right, trying to see if there's a list of the number of missions. Not seeing it, but I did remember reading in Game Informer and a couple other places online that there would be more missions in the second game than there were in the first. How long have you been playing it since the day it was released?
I actually got it a week after it dropped.
Okay, and when did you start playing the same day?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. How was the gameplay in general?
The gameplay is, like I said, polished from Borderlands 1. They've improved certain things, like it's killer easy to sort of re-roll your character, as it were, because you have, like in the first game, 3 paths you can take with each class, and customization to be done there. The only problem is, just like in the old game, you're not quite sure what you want to be until later in the game. So what they did in this game is made it easy for you to pay to just take your stats back down to 0 and follow a different path based on how you play.
Pay is in not real life money, but is in
cash,
in-game money. Okay.
In-game money. Another thing that they've done is there's in the start menu, in the pause menu, your friends who are playing the game and people who are online playing the game usually come up right there in the menu for easy in and out swapping in game modes. Okay. So your friends can jump in and jump out really, really quickly. The multiplayer experience within the game is a lot more streamlined. Everything that they did in the first game, they improved upon. Except for the driving sequences. The car still drives like butt crack. Trickling over the mile, down to the leg.
Yeah, right. All right. Okay, all four... Okay. Since we've kind of gone into character creation and characters in general, all 4 of the original player characters make appearances in the sequel as NPCs, each with their own backstory. Each of them give the new Vault Hunters missions to complete, furthering the main storyline. I really wish it would say the number of missions, because that would really be really informative, actually, because then people would know how far they got to go to get that achievement for the complete all missions achievement, which they had in the first Borderlands. Now, okay, how does the combat system? How is that smoother than it was in the original? I mean, because it was a little jumpy a bit sometimes. Maybe just low memory for my 360, but
Actually, the combat in this is a whole lot better. The only issue I have with the game is that when things get out of hand and there's a lot of enemies and a lot of gunfire, you will get slowed down. Period.
okay.
So
Then this is just regular game, not Xbox
online,
Live.
this is regular game.
Okay.
You will get some slowdown. I have a new Xbox 360 Elite, and it still slows down when it gets hot and heavy, and it gets hot and heavy quite often, especially when
Okay.
you have online. Killer. I'm allergic to child.
Bless you. You can say something in the microphone, Megan.
Kill you dead.
That's it.
Aren't you adorable?
Pat me on the head one more time. I'll kill you.
All right, kids. Don't make me turn the radio station around. All right. Go ahead. Combat.
Another difference in combat on this one is I feel like, especially playing with Zero, melee
What?
attacks.
Real quick. What type of character profile is Zero? Like class, if you will.
Zero is, I would call him a striker. He
Here, tell you what. Are you familiar with like Dungeons and Dragons or fantasy games like that? Bless you.
yes.
All right. You know the usual classes. What is it? Not thief. Sorry, they stopped that. Rogue,
Swordsman, rogue,
fighter, ranger. Would you put him in something around like that?
He's a cross between a ranger and a swordsman. His primary weapon is a sword. I like to grab sniper rifles, so I have a nice balance. Wow, it's just something in the air. Between him.
That's 5 times he sneezed, by the way, listeners.
But with Zero, you can do what you could do with I do believe his name was Mordecai in the first game.
Correct. Kind of the little sneaky
You can
roguelike
be really,
dude.
really sneaky, get in close, use your melee to do massive damage. That's how I prefer to play.
6.
I prefer to play up close, in your face, or at great distances where you never even saw me coming.
Okay. 7. This is great.
It is, isn't it?
Do you need tissue or anything? We can take a quick break if you want to go grab a tissue. All right, Z will be joining us back in a minute, so he can go blow his head off into a tissue, preferably. Again, all right, the phone number to call in is 414-935-2951. Please, anybody, feel free to call in. And if you've played the Borderlands 1 or 2, let us know. If you've played both, definitely let us know about what you think of the sequel and how much better or worse it may or may not be based on your opinion. Just call in and tell us what a wonderful or crappy show you think this is. Please refrain from cursing, as there is a child in the studio on air right now.
My name is Zero.
All right, well, let's kind of fill in a bit of space here. So Borderlands 2 was developed by Gearbox Software. The publisher is 2K Games. It was released September 18th of this year, 2012. Genre, first-person shooter role-playing game, FPS RPG. Model single-player, 4-player local, and 4-player online cooperative multiplayer. It's rated mature, 17 and older, and PEGI, PEGI 18, whatever the heck that is for. It comes on platforms for Microsoft Windows, PlayStation 3, and Xbox 360. Let's see.
Okay, that's gross.
All right, and I have no. Yeah, you'll have to ask them what the garbage is. I have absolutely no idea where it would be. All right.
You have a small waist bag?
All right. Here we go. Okay. So the classes listed for the original 4 Borderland 2 Axton is a Commando class, Maya is Siren class, Salvador is Gunzerker class, Zero is Assassin class, And okay, Gage is a DLC character, downloadable content character, and she's a Mechromancer. Not exactly sure what that is just yet.
Necromancer.
But if Z winds up letting me, yeah. That's what Gage's class is, and Zero is listed as assassin, which makes sense for the getting up close and doing large amounts of melee. Hopefully Z here will let me borrow his game at some point, till I can buy my own. I actually have it. I've got it reserved, just haven't been able to get up to the store to get it. All right, but go ahead, Z.
With this game, whether or not you're gonna buy it is probably gonna depend on 3 factors. Number 1, if you like the first game, you're gonna like this game, and no amount of criticism should change that. Number 2, it's one of those games that is far less fun to play alone. So, if you're in your basement with no internet, no friends, you're probably going to want to go out and pick up a copy of the latest JRPG that you people play.
JRPG?
Yeah. Oh.
What's the J for?
The difference is Japanese RPGs and Americans. Like the difference between a Final Fantasy and a Dragon Age. Or a Skyrim.
Dragon Age isn't too bad, I guess, but...
Dragon Age 2 was awful.
Well, I haven't played the second one. Do we have the second one, Megan?
Yes.
Don't play it.
We have the second one?
Don't play it.
Is that the one with the purple dragon on the cover? Oh, no, that's Blue Dragon that I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
Yeah, got that from eBay. Accidentally got the Japanese version first.
Yeah. Don't play Dragon Age 2. It's an affront to justice.
Wait, Dragon Age 2?
Yes. Dragon Age 2.
Get off my show.
Dragon Age 2 is awful, especially compared to the first Dragon Age.
Okay. All right. I'll give you credit on some form for that. There are some things with Dragon Age 2 that I didn't like as much with Dragon Age 1.
The fact that there's no sense of earnest,
yeah, there's no time limit to, if you keep doing all these, like, useless side missions, as the
faffing about.
the shadow creeps up on you, and eventually you can't do missions into those areas anymore. With the second one, you don't have that problem. It's dealing with what is that?
Micromanaging your little town.
Well, there's that, but you also got what's that race? The
Kunari.
Yes, the Kunari, who in the end turn out to be the real threat, more than anything else. So, I thought the combat system for the second one was better than it was for the first, though.
For you, yeah, but when telling your people in your party what to do, it's far more complicated than it has to be and slows down the combat.
Right, that's why you give them free reign. Design the characters how you would if you were playing that character, and let them have free reign to play it as they will. I mean, they're invariably always going to die probably before you. You know what I mean?
But see, in the last game, even when you set them up like that, in mid-battle, if something's not working, you can quick change strategies, fix all of that on the fly, and it was seamless. Plus, I really, really didn't like the idea where, you were your own character with this grand adventure. You don't feel a grand adventure in this game. You feel like
you're stuck in a freaking town and you have to protect this town from pointless little missions and things like that.
Yes, but and the characters don't seem as interesting or strong. They're,
true.
It's like Dragon Age isn't a bad game. It is a disappointing game. Very disappointing. It's like watching the entire Star Wars original saga and then seeing episode 1 and asking yourself, okay, what's the difference? Okay, you expected a lot more with the technology, the storytelling, the expectations of episode 1. Episode 1, compared to the old saga and how you felt about it, is considerably worse. As a standalone movie, you would consider it better than a mediocre science fiction flick. But
I still want to know how you can hear the laser blasts and explosions in space.
You can't.
Yes, but in the movie you can.
Movies make things possible.
I've ever seen do that right?
True.
Is the new Star Trek. Like when on the inside.
The one with Spock go back in time,
Yeah.
or Spock comes back from the future and all that stuff. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, real quick on that note, for the Star Wars stuff, are you a Star Wars fan at all?
Hell yeah.
Okay. Well, then you'll be happy to know, and it's still technically rumors until Lucasfilm puts out anything concrete about it, but there are rumors across the internet, including Wiki and MovieInsider.com, that there will be the third trilogy for Star Wars, roughly about 2015.
The question is, where are they going to tell this story?
I don't know. I mean, if they stick with the current timeline, you know, okay, if you go by the books, the timeline has been pretty well defined as of yet because of the books. The only next two real things they can work with is either the Jedi Academy trilogy, which is the next immediate 3 books. That's an actual series. Or the Yuuzhan Vong threat, which is actually like 14 to 15 books, I think.
Or they can go with your boy Darth Caedus.
They could. One of the other rumors is it's supposed to be set a couple generations down the road, which would put its focus on Cade Skywalker, Darth Krayt, the Emperor with his Imperial Knights, who, despite belief, are not Sith. So anybody reads the comics, they'll know Imperial Knights are not Sith. They aren't Jedi either, but they work along the same general code as the Jedi, except their loyalty is to the Emperor as long as he does not turn evil. If he turns evil, Imperial Knights are obligated to kill the Emperor. That is, and then, yeah, a new emperor gets elected, and I believe it is hierarchical for the emperor. So the emperor's kid would take up next, and the current emperor happens to be of the Fel family. Jagged Fel, if you're familiar with him through the Yuuzhan Vong series and a few more books before that. So I'm looking forward to seeing what they work with on that. If they go with the Jedi Academy trilogy, they'll be dealing with the spirit of Exar Kun and
I think it's time for us to see
Jedi
Kyle
as well.
Katarn in the movie.
Yes, but that would be a prequel then.
No, because Kyle Katarn was in the Jedi Academy series too.
Was he? Hold on, let me think. Oh, yeah. Jedi Knights Academy, the video game series. That's right.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you could bring Kyle Katarn into it.
You
could
could.
also bring there are characters I would definitely love to see. Like
Corran Horn.
Cornhorn.
Yeah, he was he was in the Jedi Academy trilogy. He was actually one of the instructors, particularly for when it came to combat force use and stuff like that, because he was with Corsac, which would be Corellian security.
He used to be a member of Rogue Squadron. Then
Right.
those people kidnapped his wife, and he had to infiltrate.
Yes, his wife's name was Mirax.
Mirax.
Who is the daughter of a big, huge smuggler. Can't remember his name right now. Corran Horn was predominantly featured in the book I, Jedi,
Yes.
which I think was by Michael Stackpole, but I could be wrong on that. I can look that up in a second.
And if you're not a big reader, you can actually find this story, I, Jedi, on YouTube if you look hard enough, the audiobook.
All right. Yep, it is by Michael A. Stackpole. Okay, I was right on that one.
It's a good book, too.
Yes, let's see.
Almost as good as Shatterpoint.
Shatterpoint was okay. I was kind of more of a fan of the series books, where 2, 3, 4 in them. Are you familiar with the Dark Swarm trilogy with the Killiks and stuff, the little force-sensitive bugs?
No, I haven't read that one.
All right. I might have the first two. I think I have the first 2 books in the series at my house. I'll have to look around for them. All right. So, yeah, I, Jedi focuses around Corran Horn. It was written in 1998 by Michael A. Stackpole. Oh, right. Okay. Mirax Tarek, who is the daughter of Booster Tarek, who is currently the biggest smuggler in the Star Wars universe. At least as far as those books goes. He's currently deceased now in the more current books, though.
Isn't Corran Horn and the students of the Academy from this book were the reason they expunged Exar Kun out of the Academy?
He was instrumental into figuring out that it was Exar Kun, or it might be Exar Kun. I'm not quite sure how to pronounce his name. We'll just go with Exar Kun right now because it sounds cool. He was instrumental to figuring out what it was. And to a certain degree was instrumental to bringing him down based on his special ability. Corran Horn has a really rare ability amongst Jedi to absorb energy. He can absorb anything from... In fact, actually, Darth Vader could do it too. When Han Solo shot him at Vader with the blaster while at Cloud City, Darth Vader puts his hand up, absorbs the laser bolts, and then used the energy for that, converted into Force energy, I guess, and used it to pull the pistol from Han Solo's hand. Corran Horn can do the same thing, and it's been nearly exclusive recent books to the Horn family line. And okay, here we go. I got the history for it right here. Corran Horn was an officer in the Corellian security force before casting his lot with the New Republic. As the grandson of legendary Jedi hero, he has the latent force powers that have yet to be developed, which they have, obviously, as you read the book. But he managed to distinguish himself with Rogue Squadron, the X-Wing fighter force that became the scourge of the Empire, and the pirates that prey on the Republic shipping. Let's see. So I'm going to skip ahead to something a little better. Okay, here we go. Corran Horn's wife, Mirax, vanishes on a covert mission to locate the pirates' secret base, and Corran vows to find her. He begins Jedi training at the Jedi Academy as part of the Jedi Academy trilogy, hoping to develop his untapped powers, but as he grows dissatisfied with Luke Skywalker's methods, he will break with the Academy before his training is finished. Wow, sounds a lot like Luke Skywalker and Yoda. Calling on, let's see. Does any
Jedi ever stick with their master before saying, screw this, I'm going to do something else?
No, not really. Alright, so excelled as Rogue Squadron, least fighting force. Yeah, it doesn't really go too much into the history of it. It's just mostly like each section is just a recap of what it previously said. Okay, here we go. Jedi training. The novel closely follows the events of the Jedi Academy training previously mentioned from the perspective of Horn, who trains under the alias of Karen Halcyon, which was Halcyon was the original name of his family's bloodline. Karen, I'm not sure how to pronounce it, was the first name of his great-great-great-grandfather. And learns more about the legacy of his bloodline. When the apprentice Gantoris encounters the spirit of Exar Kun and is eventually devoured by the dark side manifestation, Horn aids Master Skywalker in conducting the investigation, uses talents with force perception and force illusions. That's what his main ability was, and there goes Z again. So what's up, Mechan?
Don't say that.
Megran?
No.
Megini?
No.
Megaroon?
Stop it.
Megstra?
I'm gonna kill you.
You're gonna what, kill me?
I'm gonna kill you.
No. You said something started with an F. Did you say you were gonna F and kill me?
No, I thought I was gonna kill you.
I don't know. Have you read any of the Star Wars books, Megan?
No.
No? Why not? I have tons of them. Read the books, Megan.
I can't
Why not?
if you keep them upstairs all the time.
Ask me.
You're never around, technically.
What are you talking about? I sit on my butt all day playing video games and watching movies. Except when I have to work.
Yeah, most of the time you're gone.
Fair enough, I work a lot. Okay, Horn continues to aid in thwarting the efforts of Kun's spirit to destroy the Jedi on Yavin 4, even after Skywalker is separated from his body by Kip Duran, who becomes a rogue Jedi, acting under the influence of Kun. With Skywalker incapacitated, Horn becomes the de facto leader of the Academy until the arrival of Leia Organa Solo and her children, Jaina and Jason. They have one heck of a history later on in book series. When Kun tricks the old hermit Streen into using Force Whirlwind to kill Skywalker, the Dark Spirit also sends a number of battle hydras to finish the job. All right. So yeah, there's that. All right. So we got about 15 minutes left. Let's
Talk about the Resident Evil 6.
yes, let's go into Resident Evil 6 because Megan wanted to talk about some zombie movies, so I just want to kind of key this along here. And all right. So tell me about Resident Evil 6.
Resident Evil 6. Okay, you're gonna get a mixed bag of reviews for this game. Alright. The general consensus on Resident Evil 6 is that it's bloated.
Bloated. What do you mean by bloated? Like too much stuff going on?
They've got way too. They believe that they abandoned sort of their original style and went for bigger is better. The whole Hollywood mega movie sort of feel to the game and what you're doing. Anyone who played Resident Evil 5 and didn't like it would love to know that at least your partner doesn't get in the way or abuse your health items. Everyone has their own items and stuff like that. That has been improved. A lot of the game's issues from 5 have been improved, but new issues as far as the game has cropped up. I personally love the game. I love the game for every reason I love a multiplayer game. Cooperation. The story is... It's a Resident Evil story. You know what you're gonna get.
Yeah, they're pretty much the same thing over and over and over and over and over again. They just introduce new monsters, new players.
Well, in this one, you find out that the American government had a lot more to do with the Raccoon City incident than...
I thought Raccoon City was in Europe, though.
No, Raccoon City is in Midwest America.
Okay.
Then they let on. In fact, Umbrella was triaged for their part in it. Umbrella started it, but the government, sort of like an Illuminati sort of thing behind the government, had a lot to do with it.
All right, real quick. For people who are either new to the Resident Evil series, or even for people who are familiar with it and have or have not played Resident Evil 6, Resident Evil 6 is developed and published by Capcom. Let's see. It's part of the Resident Evil series. The engine uses the MT framework, which has actually been borrowed by several other games. That's gross. The platforms that it's available on is PlayStation 3, Xbox 360, and Microsoft Windows. It was released October 2nd of this year, 2012. The genre is a survival horror, third-person shooter, single player or multiplayer. I assume online multiplayer. Mm-hmm. Is there
you can
local?
Screen too.
Okay, so you can do local online too, or local multi. Okay. Mm-hmm. Now, and you can switch it from third-person shooter to first-person shooter, right?
It depends on your gun, but you're mostly third-person shooter. Some of the new things that in this game that they've changed is, one, you can switch your side. Before the 5, one character was left-oriented and the other character was right. You can switch justification, your dominant hand, as you go through the game for whatever. Let's say you're a right-handed person, you're not stuck with a left-handed view. You'll switch shoulders.
Okay.
A lot of people complained about that. A lot of people complained about your partner taking and using up health items and stuff like that, the retarded AI. Their way of dealing with that was your AI works a lot smarter and you both get your own items. So...
Can you take the AI's items?
No.
Oh,
you get your own items. So
can you make the AI use items?
Yes.
Okay.
So
in case
let's
the
say
AI
you
is still
have...
bow-tarded, you can, like, no, do this instead.
Yeah. Like, let's say there is a herb on the ground. You go pick up the herb, you have a herb. The computer can go pick up the same herb, and it's exclusive to both of your inventories.
So you can only pick it up once, but the same herb can be picked by both player.
Yes, but y'all can't share things like money or like...
Can you drop something down and then the other player pick it up?
No.
Okay.
You do not share items at all.
Well, that kind of sucks, but all right.
What you can do, however, is if you're hurt, you can get healed by the healing items that your partner has. That's about it.
So they can use them on you.
Right.
And I assume vice versa as well.
Right. But
Okay.
there's no like sharing ammunition, weaponry, and stuff like that.
All right. Megan, have you played any of the Resident Evils?
I've kind of played Resident Evil 4, but hasn't really gotten through the first level because it doesn't tell me how to shoot.
Which system have you played it on?
PlayStation 2.
Poor unfortunate soul.
Shut
In
up.
pain.
In need.
Be quiet.
It's a whole lot better on the Cube and even the Wii. Although the Wii's difficulty is...
Yeah, but at least you got the little aim thing. So
No, I'm saying the
if you got one of the
difficulty
guns.
of the Wii is way lower just because of the way the Wii... Like, the game is...
By the way, that Nerf. You know that, Megan. You know the Nerf gun I have where I can remove the barrel piece.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can put an Xbox shooter or an Xbox controller in there, the IR controller in there,
Yeah.
and it works just like a gun.
That's awesome.
Oh yeah.
So, yeah, well, with the Wii version, the way it works is superior, but the difficulty goes down because getting a headshot becomes incredibly easy.
Right.
Like, your reflexes, the game was not meant to have the reflexes you have with a Wiimote. So, the difficulty goes way down.
So those of you who have beaten Resident Evil whatever on Wii, sorry, your accomplishment pretty much counts for absolutely nothing.
Yes. Back to Resident Evil 6. You have, instead of the traditional 2 main characters, you actually have 6 to play with.
And you can pick and choose
No, there are 3 different game modes, and you get 2 different characters
for each game mode. Okay.
In Leon's game mode, the mainstay, and first appeared in Resident Evil 2, became megastar in video games because of the award-winning Resident Evil 4.
Last Amkey, I saw 6 Leons.
Huh?
Anime Milwaukee.
Oh,
Anime.
yeah.
There were 6 people dressed as Leon.
He has a new partner named Helena in this one. And you go through a very reminiscent of the old sort of... His starts like, you have to get off of camp. And this is very reminiscent of Resident Evil 2. The way you have to make it through that particular game. The second mode, you're with Chris Redfield, who is the original main character, with his new partner, Pierce. Spoiler alert, Pierce is awesome. Don't get used to him.
How is that a spoiler?
Uh,
Oh, don't get used to him part's the spoiler. See, he dies, then I assume. Or
he-
turns into a zombie or
No, he
whatever.
doesn't turn into a zombie, but you get him the whole mission. But I don't think he's coming back for the next game.
Be honest with you, the Resident Evil game series, I think they should stop while they're still ahead.
They're not gonna stop. As long
Be like 80, it's gonna be Resident Evil 52.
Well, it's like Final Fantasy. It's up to what, 14 now, and that's not counting
Okay.
like 13-2.
Well, okay, you got 10, 10-2, 11, 11-2. Well, you have X2, excuse me, not really 10, but then you have 11, and then there's an 11-2, I believe.
Yeah.
And then you have
12.
12, then 13, and 13-2.
And 13 versus.
And 13 verses, which either I think just came out or will be coming out.
Yeah,
I
we
can't
got
remember.
Dissidia.
Right, there's also Dissidia, and there's really like probably about 16 to 18 games for the Final Fantasy sets. And wow, jeez.
Crisis Core.
Right, yes, Crisis Core. That's what I'm saying, like 16 to 18 of them. And Z has gone off to blow his head up again into a tissue. Take this time to mention we have about 9 minutes left. If anybody would like to call, the number is 414-935-2951. Call people. Call.
The last thing I want to mention about Resident Evil 6 is you have the third game mode, which includes, there we go, 2 new characters. One of them is not new, but is actually originally a non-playable character.
Oh, the dog in the very first Resident Evil, right?
No.
Oh, wow.
In
That would be kind of
Resident
cool.
Evil 2, Leon and Claire saved the daughter of William Birkin.
Is Chris in this new one?
Yes.
Okay, who does he team up with?
Pierce.
Pierce. Is Claire in this new one?
No.
Claire.
Why not?
Claire, and this is the question that has been asked around the world. Where is Claire? Where is Jill? Neither are in this game.
I thought that was Jill who was getting dragged when I saw a preview for this. Or no, when you first started playing, the first intro, the opening of the game, one of the characters was being dragged. It looked like it was a female. Who
It
was
was
that?
Helena Harper.
Okay, so you were playing as Leon then. Okay.
No. You get to play as Sherry Birkin, who was 8 in Resident Evil 2 or something. She was a little girl and you had to save her. Now she's a government agent.
Is that the one? She's in the
She's-
castle or something like that? And
No, that's Alexa. In Resident Evil
Okay.
2, she's in a schoolgirl uniform being hunted by a pedophile police chief. You can't make this up.
he must be from Wisconsin.
Heck, Raccoon City is in the Midwest. Now, her partner is Jake Mueller. Jake Mueller is a new character, but what makes him kind of cool is not only he's a badass mercenary, but his lineage. He is the son of Albert Wesker.
The Wesker.
The Wesker.
The one that's the basically the dick behind all of the
All
problems.
things going wrong.
Who infected himself with the T virus, if you go by the movies, and subsequently became more and more powerful as he apparently eats people.
Yes. He is now dead as Dickens, but his son apparently inherited sort of...
Who the hell? Who bred with him?
Apparently Wesker was a normal guy behind the scenes, but still abandoned his family to, go dominate the world. But because Wesker himself was tested on as a child and is an artificial life form himself, yeah, you find that out in 5. Test tube, baby.
Just like Megan.
What?
Yep.
Yeah, didn't
No
you
one
know?
loves you.
You were made
Now,
in China, like Brianna.
Oh, no, for him.
he has an antibody in him to the new C virus. And
So now it's that C virus.
yes.
Okay.
So the C virus is made to be a more terrible virus than all of the others, using the previous viral forms in the Plagas from 4. So now his blood and his DNA is going to be used to make an antidote, as long as they can get him to the right people. And there are Neo Umbrella and other groups are trying to catch him so they can use his blood to make a more complete virus that can't be stopped.
Oh, jeez.
So convoluted story as always.
So it's basically the same storyline as before, with minor changes, obviously. All right. Well, we got about 5 minutes left. Give Megan a bit of time to get some airtime here, since she hasn't really gotten that much. Since we're on the subject of zombies in general, Megan, you mentioned earlier you wanted to, at least to me before the show, that you wanted to talk about zombie stuff. All right. Go ahead.
Actually, I really wanted to talk about the new Resident Evil movie that's coming out.
That one would be Resident Evil...
Retribution.
Retribution. Is it a CGI one, or is it a real life?
I think it's actually the real life one. It's based off of what happened in Afterlife. At the end,
You mean Afterlife?
just Afterlife, when everybody's left on the boat. Then next thing you know, a whole bunch of Umbrella people come. That's
Okay.
where they left off.
Have you seen the movie yet?
No.
Okay. All right. Just wondering. All right. So, but you're looking forward to the movie?
Yeah.
All right. All
I
right.
think they destroy Arcadia.
That's the ship. And
Yeah.
going by the previews, it looked like they probably did.
Yeah.
So, okay. Which, out of all the Resident Evil movies so far, which one is your favorite?
I gotta say Afterlife.
Afterlife?
Because you got a guy with a cloak mask on his face with a big hammer on one side with spikes and a big axe on the other side.
Resident Evil 4.
What was the creature called from the games?
Mr. Something.
Mr. Sum has like a
Mr.
burlap sack over his
Yeah,
head.
it's like Mr. Salvador or something like that. Yep, and they have chainsaws or a big crushing axe.
How's it going, Sleepy?
Alright, I just tried to call, but it didn't go.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, hold on. We have somebody came in who apparently tried to call, but I guess the call didn't go through. His name's Sleepy. I believe he also runs a radio show here at River West Radio. Sleepy, why don't you grab a microphone real quick and go ahead and say something.
Oh, hey, everybody. I hope y'all tune in to my show, The Sleepy Show, you know, get some ratings in. This guy does a nice show here, you know. Even though I never heard him, but, you know, get him some ratings too, y'all out there, y'all big listeners.
All right. Thanks, Sleepy.
You're welcome.
Nice little sneak in on the advertisement there for your show.
I'm trying to get it.
No, that's cool, man. What time is your show, Sleepy?
7.
On Thursdays?
Yeah, 7 to 8.
We got
7
2
to
3
8.
minutes.
Oh wait, so your show's coming up next.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, so the 7 to 8 hour is taken. All right, I'll have to talk to Nick about that though. All right, so yeah, Sleepy Show will be next in about 2 minutes. Megan, do you have any last things you want to say?
Watch the new Resident Evil movie.
All right.
They got more of the big guys in there.
Sweet. Z?
All right, I'd like to leave you with a little bit of a rating. For Borderlands 2, I'm going to rate that one 4 out of 5 stars. It's more of the same, but what the same is actually polished and great. If you have friends in life, maybe you don't need to play this game. But if you need something to do on a weekend with your friends online, this is a great game to play. Resident Evil 6 is strongly for fans of the series. I'm going to rate that one 3 stars out of 5. You're definitely going to get your money's worth playing it, but sometimes the game is going to feel a little overwhelming and a little bigger than it should be. But a special shout out on the game is the agent hunt mode, where you can become a zombie or an enemy in another person's game. So, trolling to the max. Go ahead. I suggest buying them both, but I would keep the receipt to 6, return it for when either Call of Duty Black Ops 2 or Halo 4 comes out.
Oh yeah, definitely looking forward to Halo 4. All right, guys, this is Video Spotlight. My name is Taylor, our guest Megan and Z. And join us next week, same time, from 6 to 7. Next week, the show might change a bit. I'll be having a Facebook page coming up called Video Spotlight and Gamers Spotlight. I might be getting another hour at another day of the week to do Gamers Spotlight. So keep an eye out for that on Facebook. All right, everybody, let you go because next thing up is Sleepy Show. All right, guys, have a good night. Bye.